Hello viewers, welcome to my channel where I make solving practices easier and educative. Alright, so here in this video tutorial, I want to show everyone on how to produce a comprehensive population density map using the ArcMap software. Okay, so let's get started. To just quickly do that, the first thing you are expected to have is your primary data, which is your population data of the study area. Okay, however, if you need the link to download the population data of Nigeria, which I'm using in the course of this training video, you can check under the video description for the link. Okay, so here is the population projection of Nigeria. So I'm going to show it to you. So the primary original data was collected during the 2006 census. Alright, so we can see it has been tabulated here, alright, for each state. However, the corresponding here is the projected, predicted and computed population data, which ends at 2016. So therefore, in this course of this video tutorial, I'm using the 2016 predicted population data. However, if you want to use the 2006 one, you are still good to go. Okay, so you are expected to extract the information, which is the state and the population and data of the year of interest. Okay, so I have already done that, and here it is. So these are the information you are going to be needing, the primary data, to produce your population density map. All right, so this is the FID, which is the field ID, the state and the population information of each state. So make sure you save as .csv. Okay, very important, as .csv, that is CSV comma delimited. Okay, then note the folder your population data is going into. So that's the first thing to take note of. All right, so the next thing is to log into your ArcGIS environment. Make sure you have your sheet file of the study area. If you are in need of the sheet file I am using in the course of this video tutorial, which is the NGA ADM, all right, you can email me through the email address dropped on the video description. Okay, thank you. All right, so let's quickly dive into the tutorial. All right, so first thing you do on your ArcMap is to set up your layer. Okay, the coordinate system of your layer by right clicking on it, scroll to properties, then you go to coordinate system. Okay, so make sure you set it on the coordinate system of interest. All right, so I'll be using the projected GTM in the course of this video tutorial. The pictures for McDonald's here. I'm scrolling down to zone 31. Okay, make sure you set up your coordinate system accurately. This will aid your mapping operation. Okay, so when you are done setting the coordinate system, you input, that is, you add the shape file of the study area, which in this case is Nigeria and each state in Nigeria. So that is ADM1, NGA ADM1. So this is how it's going to look like. Then you come to this color icon, double click on it, make it hollow, then make this one, then okay. All right, when you are done with that, you have to add up your population data, which is in excel.csv. all right, so when you add that up, you have to join the population data to the shapefile, okay, of your study area by clicking on the shapefile of the study area. You right click, you go to joins and relates. Okay, so under joins and relates, you come to join. All right, so the first thing is you need this on default. Okay, then the first thing is to choose the field in this layer that the join will be based on, so you make that FID. All right, the first column you have on your Excel. Then you leave this on default as well, then this one on default as well, then you click on OK. So let's view the population data under the shapefile of our study area by right clicking and going to open attribute table. You click on that. So therefore you can see it here. This is the information, the FID, all right, the state and the population data. Okay, so 2016. So these are the informations. So therefore the next thing to do is to add the field for the area. So we want to calculate each area of the states within the study area. So these are states. So we want to calculate each area of each state, because population density, as it sounds, density is mass all over volume. So we'll need the mass and we'll need the volume. Okay, the volume is the area, while the mass is the population data. So let's go back to the attribute table. So to calculate the area, okay, we need to create a column for area by going to the table options here. Okay, you click on that. Then you scroll down to add field. So you add field, you name this area. So I'm going to name this new underscore area. Okay, then the type is scroll to float. Then click on OK. So as you can see on the screen, the new area has been created, the column for that. So to calculate the area for each state, you click on it, on the column. It's going to be highlighted, everything, you right click. Alright, then you scroll down to calculate geometry. Then here you click on yes. So here you can see it is area, there are other information, but it is area we want to calculate. Then you come here to set up units. So the unit default is square meters. However, the area we are calculating is bigger than square meters. So I'll be using the square kilometers in the course of this video. Square kilometers. I'll click on that, then click on OK. Then click on yes. So therefore, this is the area of each state respectively. Okay. So when you're done with that, we want to calculate and create a field for density. Okay. So to do just that, you will still come to the table options, click on add field. Then here you click on, you name the field. All right, so it's density in this case. So I'll just call this P, population density. Then here the type is float as well. Then you click on OK. So therefore the field has been created. You click on it to highlight. Okay, so we want to calculate the density of each state, okay, with respect to the area and to the population data. All right, therefore when you highlight the new field created, you right click, then you come to field calculator, then you click on yes. So here on your field calculator, okay, it is now going to be the population data, which is in the CSV. Population data 2016. Okay, you double click on it to appear here, then slash, which is divided by the area, okay, the new area. Double click on it. Remember, population data.csv divided by the new area calculated, then click on OK. So therefore, this is the density of each state. Alright, the population density of each state, which we aid our mapping in ArcGIS. So this is what we are going to be using to produce our map. Alright, that's been completed already. Please, if you have watched this video to this extent, do well to hit on the subscribe icon right now. If you are yet to do that, please do that and keep sharing the videos on this channel so that others can benefit just like you are doing right now. Thank you. All right, so when you're done calculating the population density, you close the attributes table. All right, so the next thing we have to do now is to come to the shapefile. Okay, right click and scroll to properties. So this time around, If yours is on general, you come to symbology. So under symbology, you come to quantities. So under quantities, the field value, you make that our P density, that is population density. You click on that. Alright, the normalization, you leave it as norm. Alright, so when you are done with that, you can come here to choose the natural breaks to reclassify based on what you want. However, I would like to reclassify this into 10 places. Okay, so the classes is 10. You can decide to use 5 depending on what you want. Okay, so here on labels, I will click on that to format my labels by going to format labels. So under format labels, I don't want the decimal places to be this long, so I'll just make the number of decimal places to be 0. Okay, then I'll click on OK. So here you can see my label from 50 to 71. That is the density. It is low, 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 like that. So it is increasing. So the highest I'm having on this map is going to be 1,201 to 3,319. All right, so I'm going to now click on apply. So before I click on apply, you can decide to change the color around if you want. Okay, but I'll be leaving it on default. Okay, then I'm going to click on apply and okay. So you can see this is the population map of Nigeria based on projected 2016 data. Okay, the population map of Nigeria. So I can decide to put the label of the state by right clicking, going to attribute table to check the column where I have the state name. So here you can see my state name. I can decide to use name_1, or I can decide to use state. However, I'll be using the state column in the course of this video. So I'll just close that, right click, then come to properties. And this time around, I'll come to labels. So on label, I'll scroll down to label field, click on the top that shadow arrow, then scroll down to states. Okay, click on states. I can decide to choose the font size to be 10. Okay, you can make it bold, you can change the color, but I'll leave it on default. Then click on apply and okay. So when you are done with that, you still come back to the shapefile and right click, then you click on label features. So therefore you can see the state, okay, has been labeled on each area. It has been labeled, and you can see the color depicting each intensity of population in each region. So you can see Lagos has the highest form of population, as well as Imo to some extent, Rivers, Akwa Ibom. Abuja is kind of in the middle, while Yobe has sparsely populated. They are sparsely populated. There are not much people around there based on some insecurities and other factors. Okay, other factors. So that is how to produce a population density map. So to embellish this map, to add your grid lines, you come to the layout view section. Okay, you have to add your grid lines, add your label, add your title, add your legend. Okay, in the next video, I'm going to show you how to perfectly complete the map. Okay, I'm going to show you how to add other features to be making the map presentable. Thank you for watching. I hope to see you next time.